What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm sitting down because I just feel like sitting down today, but we are in the heat of a Chimera battle. Just trying to get the difficulties down so we can push it up to Ultra Nightmare. Trying to see exactly how many of these trials I can get done full auto. Now, I might manual it at certain points because some of these you kind of need to. Like the ones where you have to do it within the first 5 turns. Well, I think I've actually gotten a bit of them done in the lion form. But in the ram form, place 4 unique debuffs on the Chimera within 5 of its turns while your champions are under increased accuracy. I don't have increased accuracy. Actually, I do have increased accuracy. So wait. Let's stop here because these trials are important, guys. The trials are very important because the trials are going to allow you to do more clash points. So if you weren't aware, that is why they are important. So at certain points you may want to manual it, unless you just don't care. But we're in the ultimate form right now. I'm just going to manual these last 2 turns the boss has of his ultimate form, so we can go into the next form, which should be the ram form. Maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'm gonna manual it just so we can give it our best go when he actually changes forms, to try and get as many of these trials done as possible and get this multiplier up. I also want to talk just a bit about after the run is over, because I'm definitely going to keep this key no matter what it comes out to be, because I've already kind of played around with a few different comps. But I want to talk about champs a bit and gear, which I've kind of done already, but I feel like I should definitely say it again for the people who weren't listening. So that's what we're going to do. And the boss should be changing forms here in a second, because they do change forms every 5th turn, if he ever takes a turn. All right, and so now we have the Viper form, which, all right, damage Chimera while it's under a block active skills debuff only counts damage from skills. So basically, let's wait a moment. Let's not use all of our big boy skills just yet. Let's get some debuffs up. Let's get block active skills up. Let's actually buff up as well, because that's going to help us out a bit, because everybody is in 9-piece protection right now. Well, my supports, one is actually in 8-piece, sadly. All right, so as you can see, we just got the trial done there. So now we are damage the Chimera within 2 turns while it is under block buffs and HP burn. I do not have HP burn in this comp, so it's not going to be possible. Damage Chimera while with a poison debuff while it's under poison sensitivity. Don't have any poison in this comp, so not going to be able to get that done. Damage Chimera within 3 turns while it is under decreased attack debuff and your champions are under increased speed. So I can actually do that one, because I can place decreased attack right now. Decreased attack is up. Now we just need to get 400k damage, which we should be able to get here, no problemo. And there we go. We got that trial done. So getting a bit of them done. We've got 8 of the trials done so far without, much effort. I full auto a good bit of it. I don't think I can do any more in this form because we don't have poisons. I don't have HP burn. Damage the Chimera with a single skill while using champions under increased attack and block debuffs. I don't have increased attack in this comp, so this comp is kind of lacking quite a bit. I didn't fully. I thought about a few things, not everything. I thought about only a few things. I thought about decreased speed, increased speed, block debuffs, continuous heals. Obviously, Lydia bringing decreased defense, weaken, bringing us strengthen. Also increased speed again. She's also able to place block active skills for us, block buffs for us. Leech I find is very, very helpful for the head that reflects. Which one of these? One of these reflects. I can't remember exactly which one it is, but they reflect a ton of the damage. Leech I've found has been very, very helpful for that, to kind of keep your champs alive, because if you don't have Leech, then you're pretty much going to be missing out on damage almost 20 turns out of the 65 turns, which is absolutely crazy. So if you have Toshiro, he's like 100% an MVP. Now you can obviously use other champs that place leech, like Yugo, for example, places leech for you. Also brings decreased defense, block buffs, a cleanse, a heal. So solid champion to use as well for a support, but she doesn't really bring buffs, so not someone you're going to be bringing in, that's going to really help you to maximize all of the trials. I don't really see her helping you with the trials much, but definitely anyone who places leech is going to be beneficial. I've just found, because I've done at least 5 or so battles, at least to this point. I don't know, I've lost count, but I do have a few screenshots that I may share in a moment. So we are just under 30 turns left, and I'm gonna take it off for Laudos so that we can just see if I can actually complete any of these other trials with the champs that are here, and I can prepare for it. So deplete the Chimera's dual bar within 5 turns once it gets to the ram form. Not sure, I've been trying to actually do that, and it just seems like the dual bar is like way bigger than it is. Place 4 unique debuffs on Chimera while under increased accuracy buffs. So I think we can do that once it switches over to ram form. And it should be changing after this one. Everybody's under increased accuracy at the moment, so what I don't want to do is he should come back around to it. Actually, the boss will change. Was there a turn limit on that one? Within 5 of its turns. Okay. So we need to save some debuffs if we even get that form next, but we'll see. Let's not use everything yet. Let's just hold off for a bit, because it should be changing forms now. After Acrisia takes her turn. Oh, looks like Tuhanarok may cut in as well. So let's see here what form we get. So we have the ram form now. We need to get that increased accuracy up, get all of our debuffs up, and then try to do 2.9 million damage. So we get the increased accuracy up, and yeah, we're just going to be killing ourselves here because we don't have leech. So there's that. We do need to get up as many debuffs as possible right now. So I need Lydia to take a turn. We get Fear up. Let's go ahead and do that. Don't want her to kill herself just yet. She still killed herself. Let's try to get decreased speed up there. Okay, and Fear. So do we get it? Yes, I think we got it. Yes, we got it. Damage the Chimera while it's under a weakened debuff, and your champions are under increased crit rate or increased crit damage. I don't have either of those, so we can't do that one. Not sure I'm going to be able to get this dual bar down. There's still 3 turns left, so we'll see if we can actually do 2.9 mil damage in that time. Does not seem likely, especially without like Brimstone to help us out or something like that. Okay, so something just popped. What was it? Oh, we got another one done. Place 4 unique debuffs there. Block 5 stuns while using block debuffs, intercept, or stone skin. So we might be able to do that. Let's actually bring Acrizia back. And let's see if we could get this 2.9 mil. I know she's gonna kill herself. Did we get it? No, we're at 1. We need pretty much 2 mil. Probably not gonna happen within 2 turns. This is where like poison damage, which is capped anyway. Is this head immune to that stuff anyway? Poison, HP burn could probably help you out with this trial. This trial seems almost impossible considering the fact that the boss just reflects so much of the damage. And I'm going to use the revive now. That way, after he changes form, because she's definitely going to kill herself yet again. So, after he changes form, I could bring somebody back. This was the big thing with full auto, so he actually changed form then. I should have waited 1 turn. That's okay. And we didn't get this one done. We didn't block the stuns because there was almost no one alive. Well, the DPS weren't alive. Right now, back to the ultimate form. We can go ahead full auto for a second here. And just let them cycle through. I'll let them do that for maybe 1 or 2 more turns. Just to get some damage up, get as much going as possible. 10 trials though so far is pretty good. We got our multiplier up to 5 here, which is solid. A good bit of clash points. But I wonder which form we will get next. Hopefully it's not Viper, because I can't do either of these trials. Damage Chimera with a single skill while your champions are under increased attack block debuffs. We can do that one. So I can definitely get 11 trials for sure, depending on what head spawns next for us. And we got 20 turns left to do some damage. We're gonna get it down, but I kind of want to get the trials. I already have an idea of how much damage this comp is gonna do for us. So looks like we got the lion form right now. We don't have counterattack, and we do not have ally attack either. Absorb damage while using shield buffs. Okay, don't really have a ton of shields here. Somebody, I think somebody's putting a shield on herself. I think it's Lydia. Damage Chimera counter. Damage Chimera while it's under leech. I can't do anything here. So I'm just gonna full auto again. Can't complete any of the trials for this lion form. It's gonna go back to ultimate form and then change form again. Let's pray that it's not this ram form, because we're just gonna be killing ourselves. We're gonna be missing out on a lot of damage. So counterattack, ally attack, something to think about. Leech, definitely something to think about. Place 10 debuffs on the Chimera within 5 of his turns. Decreased res must be one of the debuffs. Wow. Damage the Chimera using reflect damage, pain link, or passive reflect damage effects. So we got to think about a diversity of champs that could come in and get you the most trials, ideally. Which should be fun. Should definitely be fun. All right, we're about to get a change soon back to ultimate form, and then we'll get a change at 55 to whatever the next form is, and then at 60 back to ultimate form, and then it's over. So we only get one more opportunity to get some trials done. Which 10 for this comp, I would say is not terrible actually. It's not bad. And mostly full auto. I could probably full auto this and get just about the exact same result, because some of these things just aren't going to happen. Like deplete the dual bar within 5 turns, not going to happen with this comp. Weaken. We don't have the increased crit rate, increased crit damage. You need to bring in Mikage for that. Damage a Chimera with a single skill while it's under weaken and decreased defense. See, we could get that one done potentially, but that head is also going to be reflecting damage, so a lot to think about, a lot to process for sure. But should be fun. We don't have much more here, so I'm just gonna speed ahead until the end. So we're coming to the end of the run here. Only 2 Chimera turns left. Multiplier still at 5. Weren't able to get any of the other trials done. I'm gonna show you guys a screenshot in a second, as soon as it's finished, of a comp that I ran full auto. Was able to get 12 of the trials done. I don't have all of the champions in that comp on my account, so I'm not really able to replicate that myself. So we get almost 800 million clash points. This is on hard, which will be unlocking brutal next. Hard should be done, but this is a decent Acrizia doing great damage. Marius also doing great damage. Let me make sure I get a screenshot of this actually. All right, but I ran this comp earlier on another account. As you can see, Toshiro going crazy. Only 1 DPS in this comp actually, and I ran a different version. So I removed Chris first, and I actually ran Wallmaster in here because enemy max HP is very strong in here right now. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna get fixed because it's not doing what it's supposed to do, but it did less damage, about maybe 30-40 mil less damage overall. But this comp was able to get 12 of the trials done. It does have increased crit rate, increased crit damage, or increased attack rather in the comp as well. You have leech in the comp as well, so you're able to get quite a bit more out of it. I know everybody's not gonna have Toshiro or Chris. I don't even have Toshiro or Chris on my own account, but very easy full auto comp to run. Let's talk about some champs though and gear. Actually, gear is going to be a lot quicker, so we can talk about some gear first. Now, ideally, you just want protection sets. I need to put my Mikage back into protection, but if we go to like the MVP that will probably be seen in a lot of the comps, Elva, because she's just bringing so much. 9-piece protection, ideal. You're going to get huge damage boosts. She's going to be providing a ton of buffs for you, and they're going to be protected. You can get a ton of trials done with her because she's going to be providing you with, block debuffs for sure. Plenty of protection. It's going to go, she's in it for the long haul. So 9-piece protection on your supports, whether that's your Krisks, whoever, Tuhana Rock, anybody you're bringing in here. I think Raka Valtide is also a decent option here actually, because in her kit, she can give you a cleanse, she can give you increased attack and a shield, which you do need for some of the trials. She also is going to provide you with block debuffs, which kind of sucks because it's on her revive, but usable. She's also going to give you some heals here on the A1, and her passive places a continuous heal at the start of each turn on the ally with the lowest HP, and it'll not place it on herself. So you could get continuous heals from there as well, and turn meter boost on her passive as well. So another decent champ to have in 9-piece protection. I don't have 9-piece on her at the moment, but maybe we'll be able to get it. Yes, I do have a ring and an amulet that we can use to put on her, so we can actually get her into 9-piece. Another decent option. Tuhana Rock, amazing option, providing you continuous heals, decrease speed, decrease attack, block buffs, increase defense, increase speed, and a cleanse as well. So solid champ to use. 9-piece protection, gonna be your best friend for your buffers, your supports, your healers, and they're gonna increase the damage tremendously for you. Funny enough, another great champ that I haven't even tried in there yet, Ramontu, probably really strong in here. just because you need like a plethora of debuffs, and he can bring decreased defense, weaken, decreased speed, block buffs, true fear as well. These trials, they have to be done within 5 turns. So someone like a Ramontu or someone like a Rio Bone Spear who can get like as many debuffs up for you as possible is going to also be very strong here. Now, depending on your account, you may want to decide between 1 or 2 DPS champs in your comp, right? As you can see, the comp we just ran had 2 DPSs in it, but like the screenshot I showed you, we only have 1 DPS in this comp here with Toshiro, and everybody else is just in there for sustainability, to boost his damage, to make sure that he can, you know, do the most damage as possible. So if you do have a solid DPS champion like a Toshiro or maybe Iyasu or someone like that who could provide you some big damage, you might elect to go with, you know, 4 support champions who could provide you with everything else that you need, right? Like you saw, we needed counterattack, we needed reflect damage, all of these things that will just help you get the trials done. But as far as supports, yes, protection, and more protection. And it's simply like almost no other way to go. Now, on a debuffer, you could say like Lydia, we could choose to not do protection, and we could choose to do something like Feral to boost, you know, everyone's damage overall, right? Feral 9-piece would be, you know, decent if you've been doing enough siege, winning your sieges, and you're getting, you know, the accessories and whatnot and everything. Then 9-piece Feral, probably a decent option. Probably not a bad option on a Ramontu as well. And Lydia's buffs, like ideally you don't want to get that block debuff stripped, right? The block debuffs is probably the most important buff that you're going to be placing. She only places strengthen and increased speed. You're going to be getting increased speed from, you know, Elva if you are running Elva, but strengthen you won't be getting there. So I would say it's honestly okay if you do lose these debuffs from Lydia. The protected increased speed, if the duration is longer, it is not going to get overridden. So you should be fine there. Lydia could go in a Feral set for you, but protection is definitely, you know, decent. I don't even have 9-piece on mine because I don't have a protection ring, sadly. I probably had like a 5-star one and deleted it. I don't know. But protection for sure. As far as your DPSs, just build them like DPSs, guys. The same builds that you already have could probably work out well. We were using Marius and Acrizia. I didn't do anything to these builds, actually. They're just in the same build. So Acrizia still in Relentless. Marius, mine's is actually in 6-piece Merciless at the moment. So he gets a chance to decrease the cooldown of his skills, which is rather helpful. I would like to get him into 9-piece. That would actually be great, but I'm not too keen on the extra turns just because you want to be keeping your buffs up as long as possible. So something like 9-piece Slayer is probably a better option, or like DPS champions that could, you know, be utilized in 9-piece Slayer effectively are probably going to be a bit better, especially after they patch enemy max HP, which I'm sure they will. Someone's gonna go tell them. But build your DPS like DPS, guys. It's that simple. The gear is not any different than what we've been, you know, using before. But protection sets, 9-piece protection was already being used a ton in Hydra. Just bring it over to Chimera, and you're gonna be fine. Now, as far as champions, right? I already named a few champions. So we said Elva, right? Elva, MVP, huge MVP. Elva's bringing us what? Block debuffs, increased speed, and she's bringing us, well, she's also bringing Perfect Veil, but continuous heal. Every time she uses her A1, continuous heal. If she revives someone, they're going to get increased attack and increased defense as well. You don't want to have to revive much. Against the Ram head, I think it was, the one that reflects, yeah, you're going to be reviving pretty much that entire time, which sucks because When the ram head is out, you're pretty much like almost not doing damage, and you lose like up to 15 or so turns of just not doing damage because your DPS is going to be dead the entire time. You might even lose a support. I think in my first few runs I kept losing Lydia and Mikage. Just kept losing them. No more than 3 people, no more than 3 at a time were dying, but that's why the turn order is definitely important. Like if we go and look at Chimera right now, how I have the turn order, well, how I put them in, rather. I have all of my supports first so that they can just revive. She can revive the supports since she's single target revive. That way, she doesn't keep reviving a DPS and they just keep killing themselves immediately while the ram head is out. So revive that support. That way the support can kind of get your heals back up, and then you can revive your DPS like right before it changes forms or just after. As you guys saw in the run, wasted a few revives just continuously trying to revive the DPS during that time that the head was out. But Elva definitely MVP for sure. She's going to be seen in a ton of comps. Now, champions that bring similar things that she does, I've mentioned this in other Hydra videos. We talk about continuous heal, which if you're running 9-piece protection, continuous heal is one of the fastest ways for you to boost your damage because they can stack and continuously stack. Continuous heals that continuously stack. I like that. 2 Hana Rock, great. Wither, great champion. Gives you leech, gives you continuous heals, solid. Increased defense and a cleanse, solid. Pretty sweet heals as well. So she's going to be able to, give you a lot of survivability. Also somebody worth putting into 9-piece protection. Now, does she bring enough to use her? It's going to depend on your account for sure, but definitely a decent option there. Opard and Clanfather was somebody that was mentioned before we, saw the boss and how easy it was, because he has, a cleanse here, pseudo cleanse, removes block buffs, heal reduction, place 2 continuous heals and block debuffs, etc. If you already have block debuffs up, you're not going to be worried about removing block buffs and heal reduction. So he doesn't have like a full cleanse for you. He also is going to provide you, some decent heals, but not a great champion now that we've seen the boss and actually been able to play with the boss. But you have a few options here, right? You got a champion like Basatha, who everyone can get from Doom Tower. He's going to give you strengthen, continuous heal, and a shield. But you got to be under fear, true fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, or stun to actually get that shield. So kind of counterintuitive because you don't want these debuffs on you, but he can give you continuous heal as well, decrease attack on the A1. And otherwise his kit is pretty irrelevant. But Raka, Elva, Tuhana Rock, these are definitely MVPs. I think Gerptuk might come into play in some places. He has block buffs. He does have poisons as well. He can also provide you continuous heal on his A1. So champions that do it on the A1 are probably going to be your better options for it. And he can also help you complete some of the trials because he does have the poisons, which I was lacking in my comp. So block buffs, poisons, a shield there, as well as he does some heal as well. Yes, some heals and places a shield. This is targeted, but it is on a 2-turn cooldown, which is pretty strong. So someone else that could come in and help you out, give you a damage boost as well with his passive. You don't really want to be under poisons and taking that much damage, but we could see him really come into play in some comps for sure. And then obviously, we have Erebus, Mythicals, who are going to be able to give you, continuous heals on everyone. Taunt. She places Stone Skin. She has HP Burn and Leech. She also has continuous heal on the A1 here in her alt form. She also places decreased speed with her passive. So she's also someone who's going to be pretty strong. her base form can give increased accuracy and increased attack. So if you're gonna manual, she's actually not a bad champion to come in and have you complete some trials if you do have her on your account, because you do need the increased accuracy, you do need the increased attack to complete some trials. She also has the block active skills on the A1 there. She can provide you with some continuous heals for sure. She has the HP burn and the leech and the continuous heal on the A1 here. But it's only, for herself and the ally with the lowest HP. So very similar to Elva, with that respect. I think Tuhanarox is the same as well, ally with the lowest HP. So yeah, Erebus actually a pretty strong option because she's definitely going to help you get through some trials. And like I said, decrease speed on the passive here when anyone is attacking. So that's actually solid. Also decrease the damage taken by all allies from skills by 20%. She'll receive the damage instead. So this is also pretty strong here. Now, as far as anything else, right, because continuous heal is so important, and those better champs that do it also provide you a few other things you need. Block debuffs, right? Block debuffs, very important. So let's just look at the block debuffs champs really quickly, and then probably a few others, right? So obviously we have Siphi, who could very well be used here. She provides some heals. She's going to provide block debuffs, increased defense, increased speed. Someone who a lot of people are already running in protection for arena. Single target revive. So probably not the best option for you, because it's going to be kind of a one-trick pony here with the turn meter boost, and then these buffs on a 4-turn cooldown is not great. So she's not going to be the greatest option. Someone like a Underpriest Brogni, though, could actually be pretty good to help you get some trials done, because he has HP burn A1. He's going to be able to provide you with block debuffs, increase attack, and a shield, and grow the shield. And he can also do damage and reflect damage. Remember, we needed to reflect damage for one of the trials as well. So can actually come in and get a bit of the trials done with someone like a Brogni. He'll be pretty strong for that. Gwendolyn the Silent is an interesting one because her this block debuffs is conditional, right? So you have to still block debuffs in order to actually get it from her. But what I do like about her kit is that she does place decreased speed, leech, and decreased accuracy, which is going to help you get some trials done. And she's also going to increase the duration of debuffs on the boss. So a potential option, probably not anyone's first choice, but somebody decent. Of course, Pythion's going to be very strong here because he can cleanse and block debuffs. AoE revive, give you some strengthen, as well as, damage reduction, damage mitigation based on how many buffs you have. Heals on the A1. So this is a very buff heavy, boss. You're going to be coming in with a ton of buffs. So someone like Python is actually very strong here, similar to Duchess as well, mitigating damage for you. So definitely someone you want to use. My boy Classified keeps talking about Jingwong. Jingwong's definitely usable here for his passive, but I think his passive really needs a cooldown to, really be helpful. And if we're coming in with protected block debuffs, someone like Jingwong just doesn't really provide much else, but he does have blocked active skills and block buffs, which we do need for the trials. Also, decreased accuracy, decreased crit damage. Decreased accuracy will be helpful for you, and strengthen. So somebody else that is probably not your number one option, but is a usable option for people that don't have too many. Tutura Rhyme also pretty good because decreased accuracy, of course, block debuffs, increased defense. This is a 3-turn cooldown. He also is going to place a veil and a shield. So he can definitely help you get some of the trials done. And he has reflect damage as a passive, which is one of the things that we did need for a trial. So solid options. There's a ton of options. Hackhorn, he was buffed recently. He does a cleanse and block debuffs as well. So could be used, but kind of a one-trick pony as well. Provide you a bit of a shield, give you some survivability, but not much else. Once the skills start to overlap with other champions and what they're doing, I feel like what a champion brings is diminished. And because like Elva brings so much, right? Hanorok brings so much. Champions like Raka potentially bring so much. It just diminishes the value that other champions bring, because ultimately you do want to get the trials done, and you also want to do some damage. So as far as the supports, that's pretty much it. Well, let's talk about some debuffs, some CC that we kind of really need in here. Increased speed, I probably didn't stress the importance of it enough, but increased speed, very important. Decreased speed, also very important, which is what we're going to talk about next. So decreased speed, you need to be taking as many turns as possible. You have 5 turns to get, your trials done per head, right? 5 turns. So decreased speed, getting decreased speed up is pretty much paramount. I ran 2 different versions of a comp. I'll show you right now. So here is let me move this over. Here is the comp that I ran on hard with Toshiro and Othorion, right? This comp has no decreased speed in it, but it has 2 DPS. I thought it was gonna do great because 2 DPS, great. But when we remove Wallmaster out and we bring in decreased speed from Chris, who, I mean, he's obviously in a protection set as well, so providing damage boost, we get more damage done, and we get more of the trials done. So decreased speed, very important. As you can see, that's actually way more. I think earlier I said a 30 to 40 mil damage, difference. No, it's a bit more than that. So decreased speed is very important to increasing your damage. There's a ton of champs that can provide you with decreased speed. It's going to be very important. Someone like a Thor is probably not a bad option because a DPS champion that's self-buffing, increased attack, increased crit damage, which you're going to need for trials, decreased speed. Any DPS that can also provide you some CC is going to be very usable, right? Especially if you're not going to be relying on enemy max HP. So decreased speed, search on your account by decreased speed, find a champion that can provide it for you, and you will be happy. Now, someone like Contra the Cyclone could potentially be pretty strong here because she has a ton of debuffs that she could place as well, right? Heal reduction, we're not really worried about too much. The only thing she's really not bringing for us is decreased defense, but she's bringing a good bit of debuffs. If you have someone that can extend the duration of these debuffs, she'll just keep pumping out debuffs for you. So she's not a bad option for sure. Give you some survivability. She also is like self-sustaining, so she's going to be able to heal. One thing I didn't bring at all in either of my comps was Brimstone, which could potentially help you out quite a bit. But Chronicler Adeline also has decreased speed and decreased attack. She's a decent option. Everybody has her. She was free, and we got a decent blessing for her as well. So someone that you could actually bring in here to make an impact for you. She's also going to give you some heals, which is solid, and transfer a debuff from herself to the boss on her A1. Only 50% chance, but it is, it's a solid champ for sure. Allies also deal 3% more damage to targets for each debuff placed on them by her. So you get a bit of a damage boost there as well. I'm not saying she's, OP, but she is definitely an option for you. Saoirse, I'm not going to talk about because that's, well things, but she does have decreased speed in her kit as well. Someone like a Tomb Lord, though, who has decreased attack, decreased defense, decreased speed, and poisons, probably a decent champ to use here because that's going to help you get trials done, right? So it's not difficult to get to the one key damage that you need for Chimera. And obviously, we're just opening difficulties right now. But if we look at Ultra Nightmare, you just need 112 million. The difference is going to be with how many trials you can get done. So I think people should definitely, obviously you want to make sure you get your one key, but at a certain point, you're going to need to really sit and try to build a comp that can get as many trials done as possible. That way, you can get as many clash points as possible and be trying to win clash as well. So decreased speed, If you compare that with decreased attack, if you compare that, you know, with HP burn or poison, right? Someone like Harvest Jack, not a terrible option either. Has fear on the A1, block buffs, poison, decreased attack, decreased speed, sleep, true fear. Champions like this, they're bringing a lot, things that are going to help you to get some of those trials done. Uh, they're going to be very, very strong in here. So I might test it out, see how it works, right? We know we need fears for sure, right? So say, you know, they're not bringing decreased speed, but they bring fear, regular fear, or true fear. There's not too many champs that do it, but Cleopteryx is a free champ, I believe. She has weakened block active skills, fear hex, increased accuracy, which she only puts on herself, which is not that helpful. But increased crit rate, increased crit damage on herself. Yeah, she's actually not that great. Too selfish. If she placed these buffs on everyone, she would be a much better option, but probably not someone that I would use at all. But fear is definitely important. Everybody has the opportunity to get Lydia. Lydia is also another MVP here. UDK probably also decent, now that I think about it. One of those hits smacks. You probably want to redirect some of those hits. I think, though, that boss doesn't, there's like no limit on the damage that he can do with it. It's like it just keeps hitting the champ until it kills it. But he does have decreased attack and fear, could provide you shields and some continuous heals as well. So decent champion to consider using depending on where you are in the game. As far as Leech though, Leech I find is important. Like I mentioned earlier, and this is a very long video now, but someone like Razzlevarg, increased accuracy, increased speed, providing you leech and debuffs, and damage. Sorry, he's gonna be pretty strong here to use for sure. You can even use like a Mashald who's gonna be providing you with leech, true fear. He's gonna give himself some survivability as well. But these are pretty much the things that you want to be going for, right? To try to get as many of the trials done as possible. So combinations of debuffs. You need champions that can place a variety of debuffs for you. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna probably do a more in-depth, like this is semi in-depth, me just going off the top of my head, but kind of want to write these things down and figure out something that is succinct to get the most of the trials as possible done and try to help people out. But that's going to be all for this one though, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let me know your thoughts down below on how Chimera is going for you. Until next time though, be good and be well.